to the League of Legends World Championship live from London, where Origen has brought this quarterfinal to match point versus the Flash Wolves. It was messy. Let's start by picks and bans. We talked a lot about what Origen would end up picking if they ended up on the blue side. How do you think they handled picks and bans?
I mean, we talked about how they could now take away some of the comfort picks. LeBlanc is the main one when you face Flash Wolves because Maple is so good at roaming around the map. He couldn't do that on Victor. He doesn't run teleport. Still, I feel like Flash Wolves got some good picks coming in, but the last rotation with the Tom Kench really sealed the deal for Origen. It was so key in this match.
Yeah, the Malphite pick was just completely shut down, and they also let Kalista through the ban and pick phase, which Niels was incredible on. They kept on pulling back the support. They could throw him back out. There's no way to kill him.
Well, there was no way to kill him, we saw, especially in the later stages of the game, but the Flash Wolves built up a considerable advantage in the early game due to OG getting caught a couple of times in there. So what went wrong from there? Because they did have some tools to engage and to play those fights with the Malphite.
The thing about Origen as a team, and this doesn't really imply for any other team in the world, they have these very crazy calls they can make and these very crazy fights they can play that a lot of teams don't really follow. Like if you look at Source when he plays Lulu, you normally look at a guy sitting next to his AD carry just protecting him. No, he's all over the place. He's running around, he's trying to whimsy the AD carry, he's trying to kill people. And these fights, I think maybe Stake got a little bit confused on the Malphite. He didn't always know when to pull the trigger. We saw one great ulti on like 3-4 guys.
Yeah, well, OG also completely grouped up.
They decided to group as well. But it was very difficult for Stake then to be that frontline engage, and therefore they couldn't find the right targets to take down, and Origen could kind of run them around, and this Anivia pick as well is buying so much time. Because whenever someone gets caught out, Wall comes in, a stun lands from Xpeke, and he's just so good at sitting so far back and always buy more time for his team in fights.
Yeah, and especially protecting Niels on the AD carry, who really came to shine in the later phases of the game on that Kalista. Clement, you know the Flash Wolves very well. What is this, what are they showing right now to you? Is this unable to adapt in the game when they have to fight versus that Niels or versus that pick that they've been caught out by?
Well, I've heard the Flash Wolves say that TF is a pick that they're very afraid of from Origen. Like, Xpeke played it exceptionally well in their games against KT. But I have to say right now that I think Flash Wolves is in familiar territory. If you think back at when this Flash Wolves teams became a real threat, it was at IEM in Taipei, where they beat the TPA from 2 down, and then they went on to win 3 straight back. So this is the experience they know. They know how this story goes. And I just hope that they keep the faith in themselves and pull it out.
Well, keeping the faith in themselves and putting more resources in Maple. Actually, no, Maple takes the resources because even through all of this, Maple has been fantastic in the series. How much more can they build on that?
I think if you look at the Flash Wolves team, Maple is the staple, as people would say here. I just wish that they could maybe play more of a pushing bot lane so they could roam their support like Sword Art to the mid. They haven't been able to get kills with just Karsa and Maple.
Again, I think at least leave Lulu open if you're Origen on red side. Ban away the LeBlanc. You can give Lulu over to Stake if it is. But if you want to play the control mage in mid from Maple's side, you gotta run teleport, because even if you get that advantage, he did well against Pekka in the lane. He could never transition it to the other lanes. That's what teleport brings. You get ahead in your lane, you go down to the bottom lane, you go to the top lane, and you snowball the rest of the map. He's not able to do it. Or we just need to see him play some assassins, because he had the last pick in the last game here, and he still went for Victor into the Anivia, and while he was fantastic in team fights, he's not able to carry Flash Wolves through that early to mid game where they really need him.
Yeah, the map rotations. Go ahead.
Yeah, we really want to see Maple on more of his assassins. He was the first original Fizz player, the original Zed player from the LMS region, and we just want to see more exciting plays from him.
Well, and very central, those teleports, as you mentioned it. You mentioned Peekaboo KT, the way they beat OG so impressively was by the map movements with the global ultimates and the teleports. Is that something that the Flash Wolves could adapt to and say, okay, all right, we're just gonna try and play like this and get those global champions in there? Well,
I think Flash Wolves play in a very specific way. They're mainly more of a 2-lane team because they don't have a lot of pushing pressure from their top lane Stake. And I think that was a big thing from SOAS coming into this matchup. On paper, it didn't look that good for Flash Wolves, from my perspective. But watching the Week 2 games fold out, I still feel like the core thing of Flash Wolves is just to penetrate mid and let Maple do his thing.
Well, yeah, I think that sums it up. We'll see if the Flash Wolves are able to pull it back. We're going to head over to our casters and find out.